Now, you could take this quite literally. Oh, I'm being awoken gently. Or you could take this the Harry Potter way. Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire? I could be shaken very gently.
ご主人様、起きてください。
Oh no, Danganronpa 3 flashbacks. Rise and shine, Ursine. Ugh, I hated that so much. I hated Danganronpa 3 for the little Monokuma cubs. Absolutely hated it. It was such a bad time. So triggering right now. I could tell it was Dee Dee from hearing her voice. So she's waking me up. It's morning already. I had wanted to wake up on my own, but so much for that.
ご主人様、
Oi, master. Alright, already. Waking up now. The hell, this isn't our roof. Good morning. It's bright, but the sun's setting, and I'm still in school.
おはようというのはとても遅いか早い時間ですね。
Or too early.
もしかしてご主人様寝ぼけてますか？
Half in the land of the living. I'm pretty sure I'm always in the land of the living, aren't I? Maybe I was dreaming. Squinted from the brightness of the surroundings as surveyed the classroom awash in a glow of red and orange. And I sighed at my disappointment at not being in Crow's route already. It's a sad day. Dee Dee was sitting on the chair beside me. The two of us were completely alone in the classroom. No other students were present. Looking out the window, I saw students heading towards the school gate. I see. So classes are over.
Exactly. ホームルームも終わってますよ。
Exactly, she says.
そして私の課題と日誌もフィニッシュしました。
You finished your work and log entries for the day. Log entries? What are you logging? What are you, a spy? Now I remember. You were doing your leftover homework and daily monitor's duties, right? Dee Dee forgot to do her homework that was due today. For shame. I've never once missed a homework assignment, ever. No. Could not be me. After pleading with the teacher, we managed to convince her to let her hand it in tomorrow. But if Dee Dee went home, she'd only get wrapped up in maid work, so I had her stay here. Sorry, I promised I'd help you with what you didn't understand at all.
通りです。私一人でもなんとかなりましたから。
I thought you'd take less than an hour to get everything done, though. Homeroom had ended 2 hours ago. Dee Dee, you just wanted an excuse to stay with me. Watch me sleep, like some creepy person from Twilight. Hey, no need to laugh it off. I'm not angry or anything. If anything, I feel like I should be apologizing to you.
いえいえ、ご主人様は悪くありませんよ。
Yeah, we made what should have been an hour, 2 hours. But we did get a nap in, so I consider that a win.
私が起こさなかっただけですからね。ご主人様はとってもお疲れみたいでしたから。
I was horribly knackered. Thank you. I don't even know what that means, but I'm assuming it means I was pretty worn out.
どういたしましてですよ。
Thought Dee Dee was more exhausted than me, but I guess I can't argue if she tells me that. Guess I'll have to make it up to her sometime. I stretched my limbs out to clear the fog from my mind.
前で伸びをされるとノーガードな脇腹をつつきたくなりますね。
No? I'd rather you not. Don't do that, I'm serious. Don't even think about it. I'm not joking.
それも含めてですよね。
I'm just expecting her to be like, why so serious, Rei? Let's turn that frown into a smile. Dee Dee is the Joker, confirmed? I'm sure, so stop wiggling your fingers at me.
なんて振りだけですよ。
You Charlie. Like a Charlie horse? Who says that? Clever girl. Felt a little vexing to have the joke be at my own expense. Anyways, putting that aside, what were you doing after you finished your homework?
進路の希望を調査する紙を書いてました。
Oh, people actually do that? That's a real thing? Oh, one of those. I figured they'd start handing them out sooner or later. Those are the worst. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I still don't know what I want to do with my life. Why would I fill that out in high school? Still ample time until the deadline I guess she was working on in her free time. Not like mine would require very much effort to finish. After all, my post-graduation life is more or less set in stone. I don't think it's a bad thing all the same. So Dee Dee, what are you wanting to do?
いろいろと悩んでいる最中ですね。
You want to be my maid forever?
第一希望はご主人様の家で永久就職です。
I was joking! That was a joke!
エターナルな労働です。
It was a joke. What kind of shady occupation is that?
What?
Never mind. It's nothing. I wave my hand out in front of my face as if to blow away the delusions in my head. I see the temple. This is D.D. we're talking about. I'm sure she wasn't implying anything. Anyways, what kind of perpetual servanthood did you have in mind?
メイドさんとして働くという意味です。
Should have guessed it.
わお、ご主人様は私の希望を予知していましたか？
Very surprised, Rei. Very surprised. Don't want to go to university.
勉強は嫌いです。
Studying is the pits. I like it.
というのはブリティッシュなジョークですけど、
British comedy.
今の私はホームステイ中なおですからね。
I actually really like British comedy. I think it's funny because it's just very, I don't know, would you call it deadpan? It's just very truthful and just very, like I said, deadpan. Like you just kind of say the truth and then that's the joke. They just kind of roast you and then that's the joke. I think Ricky Gervais does a really good job of just really deadpan jokes. He just literally says the truth, but nobody wants to say it but him. And that's his joke.
進学でも就職でも日本とイギリスのどっちにするのかもあります。
I see, that's fair enough. Now that I think about it, she probably will have to go home once she graduates. She already achieved her goal of meeting her fiancé by now.
どっちにしても一寸先はアンノーンです。大人になってからのことなんて思いつきませんからね。なので今一番好きなことを選びたいと思いました。
Yeah, I feel like she should be able to stay in Japan if that's what she wants to do. I know Japan's very hard to immigrate to, isn't it? Like, they don't really particularly care about foreigners. It's being a maid, right?
正確にはご主人様のメイドですね。
We are a rich family. We could probably arrange this. It's a little embarrassing to hear her say that to my face. She said she wanted to be by my side from now on,
もし
too.
くはイギリスのアップルファームでのんびり暮らすくらいですけど。
Go back home to England, and while away, my time on the Apple North 40.
でも日本のご飯には勝てませんね。
I didn't even understand what that sentence said. I still don't understand. Can't beat Japanese food. Really are taking food as a huge consideration, I see. That's what I would be, because I mean, I've heard Japan's got really good food.
Yes!
I suppose when it comes to the three basic necessities of life, you can't just skip out on any of them. They say home is where you hang your hat, but wherever you may settle down can certainly affect how you're able to live.
ご主人様は進学ですよね。
More or less, I've already decided where I'd like to go, so I'll aim for that. Though it's not really something I dream of or aspire for like you do, that's more something I'm obligated to do.
私も将来の夢というほどではありませんけど。
Yeah, well, it kind of sounds like Rei's gonna take over the Sawatari family business. So he kind of needs to go get a degree, kind of learn more about the world, and then he'll take over that, learn some more. Don't really have any dreams for the future myself, though.
夢といえばですけど、
Speaking of dreams,
さっきはどんな夢を見てたんですか？
remember when we went to the beach before? I was dreaming about that.
行きましたね。ご主人様が海に投げられてたのが印象的でした。
Yeah, you were very much looking at Rei with lustful eyes. Never knew I could get flown that far
夢で
myself.
空を飛んでいたのですか？
Nah, I wasn't experiencing a specific point in time. It was more like I was just caught up in the general feeling of the whole thing. That reminds me, D.D., have you been doing alright since then? I was still groggy, likely because that whole experience had left me somewhat exhausted. I mean, it is summer.
私は大丈夫ですよ。
Are you sure? All of a sudden, D.D. pressed her finger against my lips. Whoa. Okay, D.D., let's get to it. Okay, I was tired of talking too. It was soft yet cold to the
あんまり
touch.
心配しないでください。
She smiled ever so gently, ever so kindly. Although D.D. had touched her finger to my lips to keep me from talking, she did pull it away immediately. My gaze was fixated only on her. If her lips moved in the slightest, they would be parted from D.D.'s touch.
でも、ご主人様が私の心配をしてくれて嬉しかったです。
D.D.'s smiling visage was directed before me. Leaning forward, she moved ever closer towards my lips. And then I could feel my heart stand still. I wasn't able to think anymore, so right now I was able to able to do what I was yearning for. D.D.
ご主人様
Ooh. Something gonna happen here? Taking D.D by the hands, I moved her finger away from my lips, and then still clutching her by the arm, my face drew gently closer to hers. This was a time for us alone. Yes? Yes? My face was reflected in D.D's eyes, but only for a fleeting moment. Her eyelids closed, blocking the reflection. In contrast with that small gesture, she showed no resistance. In fact, she seemed more than willing to accept me. A breeze stirred. D.D's sweet fragrance drifted through the air. Yes, they're actually kissing. I'm so happy. I was like holding back. I didn't want to be pessimistic. I'm like, oh, someone's gonna interrupt them, and it's not gonna happen. You know, this just seems like it's happening too easily. You know, there's no resistance with this. Oh, it's so good. I could feel her warmth for the gentle contact of our lips. Hell yeah, hell yeah. That's what I want to see, baby. Let's look at this real quick. Look at this. Look at this. Oh. Actually, one of my favorite kissing scenes. I actually think this is probably my favorite so far. There was a build up to it, and it was quick. They didn't draw it out. It just happens. So good. Okay, let's keep going. Before I realized that the distance between us became reduced to nothing. Such a gentle, soft, and pleasant sensation. Our surroundings faded into the distance. My heart was beating as though it were trying to leap out of my chest. Oh, that's very seductive looking. Our lips parted slightly as we regained control of our breathing. All the sounds in our vicinity sounded miles away. I wanted more. I wanted to kiss D.D even more.
ご主人様
How come D.D is getting some of the best scenes in the game so far? What the hell is this? Why is D.D getting such good scenes? Her calling out to me brought me back to my senses. D.D's face was close enough to brush against my own, with her voice and eyes laid a blurred reflection of myself. Please tell me no one interrupts this. I want this scene to just happen and then stay that way. Then all of a sudden came a rush of blood to D.D's head. Even in the redness of the evening sun, the redness of her face was plain to see.
今のはどうしてキスしましたか
Because he loves you? How should I say it? The move is right.
雰囲気ですか
I mean, you were kind of going along with it,
これは
too.
そう言われるとなんともですけど顔が熱いです
D.D's cheeks were as red as an apple. A ringo. That's apple in Japanese. As I was looking at her, I became aware of how much my face was burning up as well. Suddenly, I felt incredibly embarrassed for doing that without thinking. No, don't feel embarrassed. That was great, Rei. You actually took initiative, and I'm so proud of you. Like, nothing ruined the moment either. I'm so happy. But above that, there were feelings of happiness. Yeah, right. I got a little too caught up in the moment. One could certainly say I jumped the gun. D.D had certainly been honest with how she felt about me, but up until now I hadn't returned her feelings in the slightest. I had to have told her how I felt and started a proper relationship with her before the thought of kissing her ever crossed my mind.
ご主人様
Yeah?
キスは外国では挨拶って言いますけどマウストゥーマウスじゃありませんよ
Oh my gosh, she's scolding us.
確かに私とご主人様は言い名付けですけど
I mean, I know we technically, like, restarted our relationship. Isn't that what happened with D.D? We kind of confessed pretty early on, and then we were like, oh, let's kind of restart, because we don't really, you know, it's been a long time. And
でもだからといってこういうのは
D.D, just cool it for a second.
難しいことをさらりと言われました
I know that, but there's something I wanted to tell you. While D.D remained flustered, I took her by the hand. Holding her hand like that while staring directly into her eyes, finally allowed her to calm down.
どんなご用でしょうか
Need a lot of things, D.D. Totally screwed up the order of things here, but I want to tell you something. I don't know, have we not confessed to her? Am I thinking of a different route? I thought that was D.D's. I thought, like, it started off where we kind of like, hey, I know we're engaged, so let's kind of, like, restart things. D.D, Dorothy Davenport Revolution. I'm in love with you. This doesn't have anything to do with our engagement either. Okay, I'm sorry. I tried to say that with a straight face, and I did until I kept going, and I was like, ah. Every time I think of DD now, I think of TDR. Nothing to do with our engagement either. I'm head over heels in love with you. I could tell my own voice was quivering, my face was practically on fire, and sweat ran down my back, but I managed to come right out and tell her.
ありがとうございます。私もご主人様のことがとっても大好きです。
Love not in like a servant kind of way, right? Like, this is actual love. At that moment, I felt like I could scream.
沢渡レイ君が大好きです。
Okay, that's what I needed to hear.
最初は言い名付けだから憧れてただけでした。でもすぐに一人の男の子として好きになりました。だけど私はレイ君とはお付き合いできません。
Yep, there always has to be something that ruins it. She loves me, but she can't go out with me. What does that even mean?
ありがとうございます。ご主人様、ごめんなさい。レイ君。
Feelings of elation quickly withered. What? Wait a minute. DD was smiling. She seemed happy, but something was wrong. She really did seem beside herself when she apologized. You love me, but you can't go out with me. What did you mean by that? What did you mean by that? Just thinking of chunks.
それはその
What do you mean by that?
説明しないといけませんか？
Only if you want to. Also, I'm sorry for kissing you like
いえ
that.
いえ、それは悪いどころか嬉しかったですよ。
So are we gonna get a reason why she can't go out with us? I thought we're engaged. Maybe she's gonna be like that, like, oh, we're already engaged, so we can't go out. Something dumb like that. She's happy about the kiss, the confession too, and yet she can't go out with me. Sorry, I think my brain's melting or something. I can't process what you're saying. Maybe because she's leaving? Maybe because she's going back to the UK? I don't know. Are you against engagement, or have you come to dislike me?
じゃないですよ。ご主人様のことはとっても大好きです。だから私は本気で好きになってはいけなかったんです。
Or is it like, no, I'm just your servant. I can't fall in love with you. It's not my rightful place. Did you just say that's why?
とっても好きだからレイ君の恋人になってはいけないんです。
That's so contradictory. What do you mean by that? I need more further explanation. Edie shook her head, her gentle smile still
言い名
unwavering.
付けとして憧れてその関係を続けられるだけでよかったんです。そうしないといけなかったんです。
You can't go out with me because you're in love with me. I don't understand. Tightened my grip on her hand just slightly and told her my honest feelings. My gaze at DD even more sincere than when I confessed to her. After a moment, DD let the tension drain from her body. Her smile was not one of happiness, but of resignation.
そのですね。実はご主人様に秘密にしていたことがありまして。
I knew it. DD is a man. DD is David Davenport. Should have saw the writing on the wall.
私はいわゆる余命わずかな状態なのです。
Oh, long for this world. Oh no, she's dying. So that's why she kept getting exhausted.
生まれつき体が弱くて内臓とか心臓とかがダメダメなんです。そのせいで体を動かすと負担がきちゃうんです。
That's the biggest plot twist, because she's literally doing stuff all day. So has she been like secretly like trying to hide it from us? Should I have been paying attention more? Would I have noticed it even in the moments that weren't very obvious? I was filled with shock and confusion. All the same, I wanted to make sure I wasn't misinterpreting the simplistic declaration Dee Dee had given. I took just a few deep breaths so I wouldn't start rambling in a panic, then spoke again. Are you saying I can't go out with you because you don't have much time left to live?
はい。実は昔から大人になるまでは持たないと言われてました。そのせいであんまりお外で遊ばせてもらえなかったんですよね。おかげでインドアな趣味が増えちゃいました。
So that's how it is. She loved physical activities, but she was in no condition for them. Under that bright, sunny disposition on the surface lay someone whose hobbies leaned towards
む
introversion.
しろここまで元気に育ったのが奇跡だったみたいですね。
I don't know, it's just very confusing because she does a lot of physical activity, and she's saying, like, it's very hard for her to do that. Like, she literally was doing DDR. She literally does maid work the entire day. Like, I don't know. It's very... It feels very contradictory. I mean, I guess you could say she's been hiding it and things like that, but... I don't know. I figured there was something going on. I didn't think she was dying. Why would you come here to Japan if you're in that sort of condition? Wouldn't it be better to be with your family rather than living in a place you aren't familiar with?
それはもうお伝えしたじゃありませんか。
Told me what?
日本のことを調べたり、来てみたかった理由ですよ。
Didi replied with a smile devoid of
許
energy.
けのプロミスがグランパたちの冗談だということは分かってます。だけど、年頃のガール
Look,
として、
man.
言い名付けという存在はロマンがありますし、一度はお会いしたかったんです。
So it was more of a dying wish. She had indeed said that before, but in light of this revelation about Didi's life circumstances, it took on a wholly new meaning. Would someone really travel halfway around the world to meet a fiancé they don't know? That was what I had said to myself the day we first met.
恋をできるかもしれない人とお話ししたかったんです。せめて一目見るだけでもって。
You know, I hate when they introduce things like this, and hear me out before you get mad. I hate it only because then when you're not in their route, like the character doesn't know. I hate knowing that like you're friends with this character and they actually came out here just to see you, but you're in a different route, so your love won't be requited, and they're dying. So it's like, it's hard.
レイ君に会いたかったのです。
So that's her answer. What the hell?
いきなりお話ししちゃってソーリーでした。
And she's saying it so cheerfully too. That would piss me off. Because I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, I just confessed I'm in love with you, and then you tell me you're dying with a smile. No, I kind of jumped the gun there myself, I guess, Raven.
そうですね。
And I hate it even more because I feel like in this situation, you should grow closer to each other. I know a lot of people say, okay, let's stay separate for our own good, so, you know, it won't hurt you as much, but I don't know. I've seen a lot of stories where it's like someone's dying and then they get sad either way. Like, you can be together, you can not be together. You're gonna feel bad because you've already fallen in love. Seeing Didi's smiling face, a myriad of complex feelings swirled round within me. I was distraught, confused, and in denial about what I just heard. But with Didi's attitude about it, denial was not an option for me. Hey, Didi. If I can't deny it, I guess I'll just have to accept it. Can we try to calm down a little before we talk about this any further? Right now, I doubt either of us really have the capacity to think this through. Especially me. I didn't even know what to say.
そうですね。それじゃあ
You can go home ahead of me. I just need to clear my head for a
か
bit
しこまり
first.
ました。
I don't know. I guess it is in kind of DD fashion where she just kind of so nonchalant and doesn't really care. Yeah, she showed no hint of worry or disappointment. That is very on character, on brand with DD. But maybe she feels that way because she knows she's dying and she knows it's an inevitability and she just doesn't worry about it as much. Suppose this was something she'd been prepared to talk about for a long time. So if I were to just get panicky in front of her right now, it'd look totally pathetic. Even if she were physically frail, the last thing I would want was for her to wallow in despair about it. Last thing I wanted to do was wallow in despair about it. Such was what I convinced myself. I watched Didi leave and verified that she left the school grounds before standing up from my own seat. Soon after, I opted to drag out my usual commute home by taking the monorail in the opposite direction I usually did. I needed just a little bit more time to process this.
3年だ。
Bro appeared out of nowhere and muttered that phrase to me. What's that supposed to mean?
DD が死ぬまでの時間だ。
So wait, if you know that, did you know that this whole time? Just when I was trying to calm myself down there. I thought she had longer than that.
いや何気づいたのはあの海辺でのことなのだが。
Well, frick, now I want to go back and find out what she said, because I remember she made that comment. She's like, oh, I see, or something like that.
DD がどうして我が輩を見ることができるか気にはなっていたが、あの女子、すでに片足が人間の世界から外れているようだ。
Yeah, but you're not a Grim Reaper. How does that make any sense?
まだ重心はこちら側のようだが、まさに時間の問題だろう。
Thanks for telling
感
me.
謝している顔には見えんな。
I am grateful. This isn't a happy subject at all, but I have nothing but regret if I never knew to begin with. Sighed deeply. It's not even able to think about being an adult, huh? D.D told me that earlier. I guess this might be why she doesn't have any dreams for the future. I might be reading into it too much, but I can't help but wonder, you know? Her response was nonchalant, but I somehow had a feeling she was deeply concerned as well. I gazed out the train window, going back to calming myself down. The monorail continued along the track, slowly making its way towards its final destination, like the hands of a clock, slowly but steadily. We too progressed at our own pace towards our final destination, but before we reach that destination, we must decide with our own lots in life. I wonder, what has Dee already accepted her own future? Just like I already accepted my own. Just like how I don't pay any mind to how others might feel about my prosperity. Just like how I'm not troubled by how others may take pity on the predetermined destiny. Is that really what she wants? That's the first thing I have to ask Dee. If she's already accepted her final destination, there's no point in me worrying about it. Rather, I'll have to think of a way to prolong her life. That is, a way to allow her to live out her days in happiness. If things are painful for her, I'll support her with all my heart. How could she live out her precious little time? Was there really nothing I could do? Glancing up at the sky, I clutched the watch in my pocket. The ability to rewind time by 5 minutes. No matter how you looked at it for DD, it was an ability with no use whatsoever. Wonder if we're gonna do something with the watch. I like how we had this super sad, heartful moment, and then you just hear do 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 do. It just gets really happy there. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna end up doing something with the watch. I think we're gonna do something with the watch. It's gonna like prolong her time, or maybe we're gonna share some of our time with her. You know, we're gonna do something. It's gonna work out. That's usually what I feel like is gonna happen. This is not too sad of a game, so hopefully something bad wouldn't really occur. But we shall see. All right, let's keep going. As I stepped out into the hallway, I winced at the brightness of the morning sun. These past few days, I'd barely been getting any sleep as I was walking rather sluggishly. Whoops! My mind was totally out of it. Turning the corner, I came quite close to bumping into Dee. My bad. Yeah, morning. Were you coming to wake me up? Pretty much. It was just a coincidence, but thanks for coming all the way here. I see. I'll head over there once I've washed my face. Dee bowed her head slightly, turned around and headed back the way she came. There were mannerisms befitting of a maid. But as for wonder they were befitting of Dee, that was a little iffy. Suppose I could chalk that up to our excitement for breakfast. Well, Dee's keeping her distance so that she doesn't hurt us, I think is really what it is. I think Dee's keeping her distance so it'll hurt less when she inevitably passes away, or according to what she thinks is going to happen. But, we have... Excuse me. We have the power to rewind time and to redo things and do things differently. So, there's a chance that she could live much longer than 3 years if she is together with us. We'll have to see. I really hope he pushes for them to get into a relationship and to really strive for more there, But we'll see what ends up happening here. Now, this is rare. I don't usually see you at this time. So why did you?
ご主人と DD のやりとりを見飽きたのでな。近づくでも離れるでもなく、おまけに違和感のある言動を繰り返しているだろう。それを3日も続けているのだから、見ている側として退屈になってくる。
Thank goodness, Crow, making the story more interesting. I like it. Hey, aren't you like immortal? Surely you can't get that sick of something in 3 days' time.
のおかげでこの世界とつながり、我が輩は変化を学んでいるからな。それに DD は我が輩とは違い、寿命があるぞ。にもかかわらず、ご主人はあれから何も行動しておらぬ。DD に聞きたいことがあったのではないのか?
Yeah, I think he's afraid. He's afraid to ask. He's afraid to push it. Because it probably really hurts hurts DD inside. And I think she's trying to show a facade. She's trying to show this kind of ditzy girl that she's always been, you know, kind of oblivious to things like that. Not like I don't know what to ask. Yeah, I mean, she's avoiding it. I don't want to make that out to be the reason. Yeah. 3 days have passed since I first learned of DD's secret. It still lingered with me, and I couldn't even do anything about it. I was paralyzed with confusion, wondering what I could even do at all. The day DD came out to greet me after I returned home later than usual. She welcomed me with her bright, sunny smile as if nothing had happened. Right, my confession, the kiss, as if none of that ever happened. In fact, DD's physical affections towards me had been drying up. She had been spending much more time with Mitru instead, and whenever I would try to bring up what happened that day, she would dodge the issue and run away from me. Yeah, that's a tough situation to be in. It's like, you know it probably hurts her too, but she's really just trying to protect you. It's like, what do you do? Personally, I felt nothing but perplexion as to her behavior about it. All the same, I was trying to come to terms with it. How exactly should I approach DD? Now that I know her secret, what do I want to do? I hadn't been able to settle on an answer to either of those questions. Even as I continued to play overly nice with DD, life went on the same as ever. She was bright and cheerful at school, and seemed to be enjoying herself. She was interacting with her fellow classmates more than ever before. Had she not told me firsthand about the condition she was in, I probably would have never realized it. And even once I did know, considering how active she was, part of me couldn't help but wonder if I was misunderstanding things. The moment we get back home, she would dive straight into her maid work. She'd have fun talking with Mitru, enjoy her dinner, and at the end of the day, end the day with a smile on her face. Anyone would think she was living a fulfilling life. But having learned her secret now, I can't help but see the deeper meaning behind it. The reason why DD always seemed to be having so much fun is she does not want to waste a single minute or a single second of the time she has. Her stars shone so brightly that it was destined to burn out quickly, so she wanted to enjoy what little time she had left to the fullest. But I couldn't help conjuring up the mental image of a candle burning itself out instead. Even when I don't have something big on my mind, I'm never listening to you. So no, I wasn't. In fact, it was more like I was totally lost in my own little world. I quickly took stock of my surroundings once again, and I realized I had a lunchbox in my hands. Furthermore, the contents had barely been touched. That's right, Mitru invited me to have lunch with her today. I suppose the offer must have been made out of concern for my unusual behavior lately. It's not entirely right, but not entirely wrong either, I guess. Yeah. You know, love does that to you. Mitru neatly packed away her own lunch, and after putting it aside, she turned her eyes to me. Her clear, vivid eyes seemed as if they were peering directly into the core of my being. Yeah, that would be because of me as well. That's Mitru for you. She probably would have realized something didn't seem right from that day onward. Maybe she hadn't tried to entertain discussing the idea out of consideration for us. After all, neither I nor DD were all that eager to discuss it. But considering how Mitru was talking about it with me, there must have been out of consideration for me too. Not because she couldn't bear to have me acting this way, but because she didn't want me to agonize over it so much. You know, Mitru, that's actually a very nice offer. The thanks is being so considerate of me. As for the sorry, I just need you to wait a little bit more. Things aren't quite at the point where I can ask for another's help. Like, I probably could, but I can't make up my mind about it. After all, everything DD had told me followed on my confession to her, and it had more or less been a response to that. Most importantly, I'm still trying to think about what I want to do. DD had precious little time left in her life. Was there really no way to prolong that time? Was there really nothing I could do to help? I was still mulling over those questions. That's the idea. I intend to talk it over with you long before I get to that point.
先ほどのやりとりですが、DD さんと出会った日に似たようなことを話しましたよね。
You remembered that.
兄様との会話ですから。
Of course, you remember every conversation we have. Well then, I couldn't tell if that made me glad or just
当
worried.
然ながら、その前の会話も覚えていますよ。DD さんは可愛いのですかと私は質問いたしました。
Suppose I did remember that. I recalled answering her question with I'd be lying if I said she weren't cute. But now things were
そ
different.
のお気持ちは今も変わりませんか？
Yeah, she is cute. I think she's the cutest girl in the world.
そうですか。
Michiru's expression bloomed into a smile just like a rose. Can you try to get along with her?
どうでしょうか。
I don't know. Michiru always says that, but I think she genuinely does care about who her brother likes. Like she's pretty nice about trying to, help them out. I would have preferred a bit more affirmative answer, but I guess it says enough that you didn't flat out refuse either.
さて、私には答えかねますが、DD さんはすでに私にとっても大切な人ですからね。
Yeah, I mean she is their maid. They see her every day. They hang out with her outside of class sometimes and do things together.
困っているのなら、私だって力になりたいのです。
Yeah. She was right. The problem wasn't between me and D.D. Michiru was equally as worried about D.D. as I was. Naturally, she was worried about me too. I didn't want to just stew in my feelings about it forever. I needed to talk to D.D. Even if I was scared of how she'd respond, that wasn't any reason to keep procrastinating. Alright. Having gotten encouragement from Michiru, I was finally able to muster up the courage to talk to D.D. There we go. This needs to be done. We'd agreed to talk it over after school ended, just me and her in the classroom at dusk. The environment was exactly the same as the day it all happened, but my mental state couldn't have been more different.
ご主人様、遅かったですね。
Oh boy, I wonder how this is gonna go. Sorry, just had to gather my thoughts for a bit. Incidentally, when you say late, are you talking about me making you wait in the
もちろ
classroom?
んそれもありますけど、最近のご主人様はちょっと話しかけづらかったですから。
Sorry about that, but the same goes for you too. I mean, you turn heels and run away every time I try to talk with you.
それを言われると、私も会いたたですね。
We both wanted to talk about it, but we couldn't. It was that dilemma which put us at the impasse we are at now. In any case, I did keep you waiting and all. And if we're both late, this guy's gotta be the one to
デー
apologize.
トの待ち合わせみたいですね。
How long were you waiting?
一日前週の気分がするくらいです。
Wow, that's a long time. You're making me feel bad.
ワンデーサウザンドオータムのマインドでした？
Is it a Star Trek reference? Y'all told me that apparently there's a lot of Star Trek references in here, so I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, quit it. I've had enough profound thoughts for one day. We were bantering back and forth like we always did. After all, if we didn't get the opportunity out of the way, we might have lost our opportunity. If we didn't get that out of the way, we might have lost our opportunity to talk about the issue at
さ
hand.
てさてご主人様、こんな青春まっしぐらなシチュエーションで何をしますか？
Well, all things considered, a classroom at dusk is a good meeting place for discussing the future. It can be, or in the case of Haruhi Suzumiya, it can be a place for ending the future. Well, it didn't happen that way, but it almost did. Like maybe falling in love, for example.
ラブなトークを聞く方が好きですね。
I prefer to experience it firsthand rather than just talk about it. What about you, DD? Haven't you ever thought of falling in
考え
love?
たこともありませんでした。
Ouch. Ouch. Wow, okay. Just hurt the man more, why don't you? She answered with an unshakably bright smile on her face. Yeah, she said it with a smile, too. That kind of flat-out refusal from her suddenly felt difficult to push the conversation on, but I couldn't just stop here. Is that because your mortality, or rather your condition?
そうですけど、それで悲しんでるとかはないですよ。
I didn't expect Dee Dee, of all people, to be the heartbreaker in this novel. Like, everyone else has been just kind of open and easy to romance. It takes a while, but Dee Dee is like, nah. Never been in love. Don't wanna be.
死んじゃうから やけっぱちになってるとかでもないですし。
I mean, she did tell us she loves us before. Nodded along as Dee continued to explain. She did so matter-of-factly without a trace of hesitation. But it was that directness which made it hurt even more for me.
もし体が丈夫でも、誰だっていつかは死んじゃうじゃないですか。
Yeah, but most people, like, this is the start of, like, great things to come. You know, when you're at this age, you're, like, finally at a point in life where you think you kind of know enough and you're starting to really act like an adult and make your own decisions. This isn't usually the time of in life where people are, like, thinking about dying. Yeah, though someone like Crow might be a different matter entirely.
クロさんはとっても長生きさんですからね。ですけど、私はそんなに長く生きられませんから。それなら、限りある人生を楽しく生きる方がとっても素敵だと思います。
Yeah, I agree. It was more or less the same reasoning behind my use of the watch's power, to live as fun and interesting a life as I could within the extent of my own freedom. I felt that was good enough
た
for
だで
me.
すね、体の寿命の前に死ぬ可能性もあるじゃないですか。
Yeah. I mean, that's entirely a possibility.
交通事故だったり、他の病気だったり。私はその間際になって後悔しないように全力で楽しみたいんです。
Then being with me wouldn't change anything for you, would it? After all, even I don't know when I'm gonna die. It could be in 100 years, it could be next year, or 3 years
そ
from
れは
now.
ダメなんです。
Didi slowly shook her head from side to side. Her hair wavered with her head, and a wistful smile formed on her
私は
lips.
きっとレイ君より早く死んじゃいますから。
Not true, but sure.
大人になるまで待てずにレイ君の前からいなくなっちゃいます。
I mean, let's just say we're like 17 right now or something, you know, or 16, we're like a third year. You'd be an adult by then.
恋人になって愛し合ってその後はレイ君を悲しませることになります。
I feel like just because you know something's gonna end in disappointment, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. And I don't think I'm not saying it's gonna end in disappointment, but it'll end with something that's not desirable, right? But I don't think that's an excuse not to do it.
それは楽しい思い出だけじゃなくて悲しい思い出になってしまいます。
I can't believe we're getting a serious and more heartfelt moment in DD's route, of all things.
その時に私の記憶はレイ君の重荷になっちゃいますから。
I don't know. I feel like women like to say that, and it's not true.
ですから私はご主人様とはお付き合いできないんです。ご主人様とだけは一緒になれません。
I really want to see Rei assert himself and say, if I'm truly your master, if you truly love me and you want to serve me, then do this for me. I don't care if it's going to hurt me in the end. I would love for him to say something like that. Her argument was absolutely perfectly sound. The person known as Rei Sawatari, the person known as Dee, and what respectively lay in store for each of them in 3 years' time. I, someone who needed to take up the reins of a major corporation, and Dee, who could not be by my side. Think about it logically, it would just be like Dee had said, a burden. Thinking about it emotionally, I couldn't deny how this decision of hers was one she made for my own sake.
私がご主人様を悲しませたくないんです。そうなったら私は私を許せませんから。ご主人様には楽しい思い出だけを残してほしいのです。そうしていつか私のことを思い返してくれたら満足です。
I think he can still do that, though. Even calling me by my name and telling me she loved me wasn't making me happy. I was on the verge of accepting how she felt. Then why? Why did you come all the way here to Japan? Video games, Japanese food, the homestay, those are all just excuses, weren't they? If you'd never come here to meet me...
来ない方がご主人様は嬉しかったですか？即答してもらえて嬉しいです。
Please stop, that's not something to be happy
I'm
about.
sorry です。でも喜ばないなんて難しいですよ。私もご主人様に会えて嬉しかったですから。
It was clear that Dee was speaking truthfully from the bottom of her heart, but I couldn't be happy about this. I couldn't feel any kind of happiness from our conversation, which felt more like a two-person
最初は
eulogy.
憧れだったんです。
I'll say they're not gonna do a route where she dies in the end, are they? I would actually respect it if they did. But I don't think they're going to. Like I said, I think there's going to be some kind of watch thing. We haven't really seen the watch used at all this route. I think there's going to be something happening there.
遠く離れた国に海の向こうに婚約者がいる。そんな素敵な立場に喜んでいたんです。叶えられない願いだからこそ叶わなくてもいいんだって。恋に恋するような女の子でよかったんです。
Wow. A girl in love with falling in love. A good way to put it.
体の弱い子が夢を見た。そんな一幕でしたから。近くて遠い関係に憧れました。
I don't know. I almost feel like you could compare that to visual novels. Like, it's very nice to like play this and like do, you know, romance kind of games, right? It's like where you get to kind of experience falling in love over and over again. So you're kind of falling in love without being in love. Very interesting thought.
近づきすぎたら一緒の家で暮らす婚約者になっちゃいますからね。
So that's why you brought up the whole maid
メイドなら
thing.
ご主人様に憧れてもおかしくありませんよね。
Lord me, how stupid that sounded. I wanted to treat it as a joke and be done with it, but D.D. had accepted her fate from the beginning and had committed to accepting it at the very
た
end.
だ憧れて立場だけで満足するつもりでした。
So she essentially like got the love part, got the living with him part, without ever making the commitment part.
友達になって仲良くして楽しい思い出を作って体のことを秘密にしたまま笑顔で帰るつもりでした。
That had been D.D.'s plan and something that ended up throwing a span in the
です
works
けど
then.
第一印象がプラスでしたからね。あとはご主人様のことを知っていけばあっという間でした。趣味があって話があって日本になれない私に気を使ってくれて、そうしたらあっという間に好きになっちゃいました。好きになっちゃったんですよね。
D.D. had a troubled smile, almost as if she were saying, I shouldn't have fallen in love. Her bashfulness was writing that off. Her bashfulness was writing that off as just a silly little mistake, a mistake which was ultimately trivial and wasn't going to change the final outcome of things.
なので私はイギリスに帰ります。
Is that my fault?
全くないとは言えないですね。
You're awfully honest.
嘘をついても仕方ありませんから。それに好きな人の影響を受けてないって悲しくありませんか？
Yeah, I guess it would be. Whether or not it was my fault, whether or not she lied, that couldn't change how sad it
私の
was.
体のことを知ったら気を使わせちゃいますよね。なのでこれ以上いろんな人を困らせる前に帰ります。
She didn't have to say anything more for me to understand. Once she returns to the UK, she won't ever be coming back to Japan. Not to mention, she has but 3 years to live. Until her time comes, she probably won't be able to be as spirited as she is now. When she spoke of not wanting people to be concerned for her, D.D. undoubtedly meant to say that she didn't want anyone to see her in that kind of state. I see. D.D. had accepted all of that. As someone who had accepted his own life in the same way I couldn't stop her, logically and emotionally I had to agree with her. I'd resigned myself to my own future the same way D.D. had resigned herself to hers. I didn't have the words to oppose her resolve. Our conversation ended and I went home with her. Unlike before, I was done agonizing over myself. My thoughts on the matter had already been settled. D.D. and I spoke. She made her decision known, and I decided I couldn't go against her will. Hence why I wasted no time whatsoever in going to talk to Mitra about it.
教えてくださってありがとうございます、兄様。
Well, it was quite a serious matter, and it's something that directly affects D.D. too. In fact, I felt like there was no reason to be hiding it from Michiro.
そうですね。さすがに私も驚きました。
Yeah, the way D.D. said it all to me, I just couldn't deny it. Had it been a classmate whom I wasn't particularly close with, it wouldn't have been weighed on my mind as much. Even while I had felt bad for them, I had seen them off, and that would have been the end of that. The memory would pass soon enough, and I'd go back to my daily routine like it was nothing. But upon hearing how resolved D.D. was...
そうではなくて、私が驚いたのは 兄様の行動です。ですから、兄様が DD さんの意見を尊重しすぎているので驚いたんです。
Now it was my turn to be shocked at what Mitra just said. I stared at her, wondering what on earth she was getting at.
兄様にめでられるのは悪い気がしませんが、それは話が終わってからお願いします。
In contrast to my puzzlement, Mitra spoke with a
兄様
smile.
にいいことを教えて差し上げましょう。
She started off with words that sounded like she was scolding a badly behaved younger
いつだっ
brother.
て正論が正しいとは限りませんよ。
That is true. Why else would people call them sound
それ
arguments?
は誰にとって正しいのでしょうね。
To whom? To me, to D.D, or perhaps someone
兄
else.
様や DD さんは正しいかもしれません。ですが、私からすれば、それゆえに間違っているように感じます。それ以上に、兄様らしくありません。当然です。私からすれば、兄様の幸せが最優先ですから、余命いくばくか、周囲に迷惑をかける、悲しい思いをさせる、そんなのは、愛の前ではさじに過ぎません。
My gosh. How did this route get so good here at the end? Like, I'm very much enjoying this. That's why I'm not saying much. I feel like I'm just very wrapped up in this. Like, I totally agree with Michiru here. Like, when you're talking about rationality, like, that goes out the window when you're talking about love. People do crazy things for love. Now, I'm not saying you should go out and do crazy things for love. Like, don't go kill somebody. Don't turn into a yandere, right? Like, if you're watching Future Dire and you're like, ah, Yuno's got some good advice here, you're doing it all wrong. Doing it all wrong. But I think what Michiru is trying to say is Rei, you should be a little bit more selfish about this. Just because her argument sounds good and it's logical doesn't mean you have to agree with it. Doesn't mean that it's right. It can sound perfectly convincing all at once, but it doesn't make it right. You need to decide that for yourself. How do you really feel? Because when you're talking about love, and hopefully it's a two-way streak. If both people are in love with each other, it's not just about one or the other. It's about both of you, you know, because when you're talking about a relationship, you're bringing two people together. So I think it's okay sometimes if one person or the other is a little bit selfish. Like, you have needs, you have wants and desires. Sometimes it's okay to speak up and say, hey, this is what I want. This is what means something to me. And in this case, Rei wants to love her, and he wants to be with her, and she's saying, no, I don't think that's a good idea. But Rei needs to say, hey, I don't really care. I don't care if it's not a good idea. I want to do it because I love you, and I want to spend, you know, what little time you do have together.
理屈や正論が恋路を邪魔するのなら、私が蹴り飛ばして差し上げます。
Could only laugh dryly at how outrageous the things she said were. Considering her sheer audacity, I was on the verge of breaking into a genuine mirth.
そもそも、兄様も DD さんも考えすぎなんですよ。恋愛なんて、もっと向こう見ずなものなんですから。
Mitra, I personally think you should be a little bit more worried about troubling others.
兄様もまだまだ恋愛に関しては初心者ですね。有名な格言を知らないのですか？恋は盲目です。周囲を気にしていては進めませんよ。
It's kind of funny coming from you, but sure. I get it now. My little sister really is one hell of a wonderful
そ
girl.
れに
She can be,
周囲か
sometimes.
ら阻まれるほど恋愛は燃え盛りますよ。私なんて血のつながりが間を阻むような禁断の恋ですから。
You sure just said that right to my face.
兄様に言わずに誰に言うのですか？あ、いえ、周囲に広めろということですね。
Please don't, that just makes things even hairier. Retorting at her with no semblance of ill will made a smile creep onto my face. In spite of my gloominess and in spite of the pain I felt, Michu's words cheered me up. Just like that.
兄様と DD さんなら噂程度では問題にならないと思いますよ。性格もそうですけど、決意が固いところ、運命を受け入れて進むところもそっくりですから、良いところも悪いところもよく似ています。
My weaknesses.
信念の強いところ、傷ついても 胸を張って進もうとするところですね。弱くても痛みから逃げても私はいいと思いますよ。そのおかげで手に入るものも守れるものもあるんですから。
Much as I have done, she didn't say that. But she didn't have to say it for me to understand. This was how Mitra used to be in times gone by. Being struck with blindness was something she had refused to accept. She took it out on everyone around her, hurting them, building a wall for herself, trying to shut herself away in isolation. She had tried to run away from her fate, but there's no doubt that Mitra was happy now.
それに DD さんの決意を尊重する必要はないと思いますよ。兄様は自分の将来を受け入れましたが、それはまた別です。自分は自分、他人は他人でいいではありませんか。
That's what you say. I feel that way of thinking applies to her
時
just as
と場
well.
合によります。
Honestly, Michiru, there's nothing you won't take my side for, nothing you won't give me a push on the back when I need it for, is there?
幸せの押し付けでも結果的に幸せになれるなら素敵だと思いませんか。
It depends. I'm not really someone to say that the means justifies the ends, right? I feel like that's a dangerous way of thinking. Do you really think she can be happy?
少なくともこのままでは誰も幸せになれませんね。今の兄様は生来の魅力が自由奔放で楽しそうに過ごす姿が陰っていますから。
I don't even know what you're saying. I suppose DD to tell me that she has fun when I'm with her. Yeah, DD said to me earlier that she wants to leave behind the
こ
happiest
こ
of
で何も
memories.
せず DD さんを見送って兄様はそれで楽しい思い出だったと言えますか。
I couldn't. Not one damn bit.
言えません。ハッピーエンドではありませんね。もしそうなったら私は DD さんを許しません。
If you were to harbor a grudge against her for that, it'd only make her more
さ
sad.
て兄様はそんな結末をどう思いますか。
That wouldn't be leaving her happy memories behind at all.
全く。
She was right. At this moment, I wasn't happy in the slightest. Between trying not to be weighed down by sadness and not wanting to contradict her decision at the same time, I was at an impasse. Both Dee Dee and me were so self-conscious about wanting to respect the other's feelings, we were completely neglecting how we felt ourselves. Weakness is its own
あまり
strength, huh?
悩まず心の赴くままに行動してみるのもいいですよ。
Coming from you, this just makes me nervous. Can't you just temper your feelings a little, keep them within some sense of morality
愛
here?
に勝るものはありません。
Rachel declared it so boldly I couldn't help but smile. Thanks to her, I finally realized it wasn't a bad idea to take her advice. I too would follow my own heart, and while at it, I'd ask the people I loved, family and friends alike, for their own advice. Taking out my phone, I sent a message of thanks in response to every friend of mine who texted me out of worry. Then another message asking for their help. Yeah, I would say I'm kind of like someone who kind of believes love trumps all. I guess you could say that. The day after I texted everyone asking for advice about DD, although I mentioned that we could meet on a day when everyone had free time, they all showed up. Right, looks like the gang's all here. I really gotta thank you guys for coming all the way out
気
here.
にしなくていいわよ。先輩だけじゃなくて DD 先輩の相談みたいだし。うんうん。友達が困ってるんだから助けるのは当然だよ。
I really like how some of my favorite people are here. We got Shuji, we got Makoto, whose route's next. Very excited about that. And then we got Misaki, who's one of my favorite girls.
つっても内容聞かないと助けられるかはわかんねえけどな。
Fair enough, but this isn't something I can just talk about through
真
text.
剣な話なのは分かってるよ。最近のさんずいを見てりゃな。
最近のレイ君は変だったもんね。悩んでたり、もだいてたり、落ち込んだり。
Even I knew just how out of it I've been behaving in class, but that ends today.
何があったか知ってるのよね。ええ。私が最初に兄様の相談に乗りましたから。ですので、その件についての心配は無用ですよ。
So we even have Miyu and Michiru here.
あれ、それじゃあ悩み事はもう解決したんですか？
Yeah, I've already taken care of what was worrying me. That's not why I called you guys here today. This is a totally different matter. Everyone looked at me like I had two heads with that opening comment, so I began to explain everything. They were overjoyed upon hearing my confession to Dee. That joy turned to bewilderment when I told them of how she'd rejected it. When I got to explaining her reasoning for doing so, they froze in shock. The part about how Dee was born with a frail constitution and hadn't much time left to live. And how, as a result, even if she were going to go out with me, there was no putting off how I'd eventually be left all on my own. Then lastly, her plan to return home, such was how my abridged version of the whole affair concluded. If I hadn't spoken about it to Mitra beforehand, I wouldn't have been able to explain it this clearly. In any case, no matter what Dee may think, my feelings have not changed. The atmosphere had undoubtedly become somber right now. Dee doesn't want to leave any sad memories behind, that's why she turned me down. That means I'll just have to make enough happy memories with her that the sad ones won't matter. I don't want her to have to worry about that enough, so that I want to make her happier than anyone else in the world.
素敵な演説でしたよ、兄様。
Thanks, Mitra. As Mitra and I smiled at each other, a sigh of resignation rang out, albeit one tinged with a bit of warmth.
恋に命をかけるわけだ。いいね。私もとても素敵だと思います。
Thanks, you two. Still, it took a bit of prodding from Mitra to get me to reach that
兄
decision.
様を助けるのは妹の務めですからね。家族のことですから人事ではありません。それに義理の姉になるかもしれないのよね。
I'm hoping for that myself. But given the situation, that pipe dream was out of my grasp.
サンズイは DD に振られてるわけだけど、どうするわけ？
Honestly, I think she's accepted my feelings at least. She said she was happy and that she loved me too.
DD さんは兄様を悲しませないようにと身を引いただけですからね。もっとも回らない頭を変に使って余計な気を使っているわけですが。そこはもっと違う言い方があるでしょ。いいんですよ。兄様の告白に対して遠慮したのは DD さんなんですから。
Yeah, kinda true.
もう DD 先輩の気持ちもわかるけどね。
While everyone else was conversing, Mia raised her hand ever so slightly.
それじゃあ DD 先輩に受け入れてもらう方法を考えればいいんでしょうか。
Yes. Something like that.
はい、頑張ります。以前はレイ先輩に助けてもらいましたから、そのお返しです。まあ、私も手伝ってあげるわ。それに、先輩じゃ告白のシチュエーションとか考えられないでしょ。日々妄想している美咲さんの得意分野ですね。毎日なんてしてないわよ。
Not every single day. Not to respond back with how often do you fantasize then, but that moment Makoto spoke up as well.
質問なんだけど、告白で決定なの？
What do you mean?
さっきのレイ君の話だと DD さんを楽しませて喜ばせるのが目的だったでしょ。将来の悲しい思い出よりもそれ以上に幸せな出来事が待ってるよって感じで。
Yeah, more or less. In that sense, going out with DD could be called the means to an end. But more than that, I wanted to create a more joyful future for DD than one she resigned herself to
だったらさ、
accepting.
告白以上に DD さんが喜ぶことにしない？
Even happier than a confession, huh? The only things that come to mind for me were anime, video games, and the old Oishi Gohan she loved so much. Of course, considering the situation, I doubted Makoto was referring to any of those.
なるほど、一理ありますね。それってやっぱり。もっとも DD さんが一般的な女性の感性を持っているかが謎ですが。ちょいちょい毒吐くわね。DD 先輩に恨みでもあるか。ええ、大切な兄を持っていかれるわけですから。持っていくっていうより入り込む方が正しいんじゃないかな。
The four girls chatting excitedly, me, the other guy, and the other guy were left in the sidelines. Like we're just calling Shuji the other guy. You know what they're talking about?
予想はできるけど、当人に聞いてみるのが早いと思うぞ。
Point taken. What exactly will make Digiri happier than this
そ
confession?
んなの一つしかないよ。
We're gonna get married.
相手が兄様というのも重要ですね。 DD 先輩に尋ねるまでもないわね。女の子の夢ですよ。
Are we gonna go try on dresses? Is that what we're gonna do? It's gonna be not be what I think it is. It's gonna be like, oh, we're just gonna go wedding dress shopping, you know? We're gonna do something like that. New statement was my light bulb moment. It's the most important dream of any girl in love. Her final goal. The answer was clear as
とは
day.
いえさすがにやりすぎかな。お金もかかりますよね。もうちょっと普通に考えましょうか。
We literally look at all these girls. They're all pretty much rich except for Miyu, as y'all talk to me about. I'm like, yeah, Miyu's probably the most humble. Wait, why? It's a great idea. Let's go for it.
本気？レイ先輩って本当に変なところで行き当たりばったりですね。
You're not the one to talk to Miyu. As long as it's fun, I'll do anything. As long as it was all for DD. Thinking of it that way, there was nothing I wouldn't do for her. Some quiet giggling fell on my ears.
それでこそ兄様ですわ。
Gosh, can you imagine if freaking DD of all the girls gets the marriage route? That'd be crazy. So we began planning our little scheme for DD. The very moment we agreed on it, the girls ended up putting it all into it, leaving me on the sidelines. But I guess girls would be more enthusiastic about this sort of thing anyways. Plus, seeing how they were putting so much effort into it filled my heart with gratitude. Incidentally, the plan also entailed seeing DD off when she had to return home, and so everyone eagerly got to informing their classmates of the
レイ
plan.
君、石田君、女子のみんなには連絡終わったよ。
男子の方も終わったよ。一応全員参加の予定だ。
Over the past few days, they both spent time coordinating their classmate schedules in preparation for the event.
会場はどこにすんの？
Still trying to decide, though it's not like the expenses would be a huge deal to me.
私は他のところを借りるよりもだった。誠さん、ランチのお時間ですよ。おや、お話中でございましたか？平気だよ。もう終わったから。
そうそう。俺のことは気にしないでくれ。
That's right. We'll see you later on. Not doing anything here. Nope. Don't worry about it, DD. Of course, if DD found about the whole plan, it would be all for naught. Yeah, we're just having a friendly little chat. Nothing strange. First years were tasked with the crucial ceremonial details. We had decided that holding the event in the classroom would work best, so the preparation and the music were entrusted to them. But the music Mitra used to be into playing the violin, and once he suggested it, Misaki was on board with it too. Ooh. Are they gonna play the violin and not in her route?
定番ですからね。二人ともすごいな。
That'd be kind of cool. That'd be a good throwback to her route. I'm glad I played hers first.
美咲さん、ストップ。お嬢様、お待たせしすぎちゃいました。うわ、DD 先輩。はい、DD 先輩ですよ。一年シスターズは賑やかですね。今のはその。落ち着いてください、みゆさん。分かってるわよ。大丈夫、慌ててないから。落ち着くね。それが落ち着いて。
Oh, you guys are so dumb. Like, acting natural.
何でもありません。
It's not natural.
DD さん、帰りましょうか。お二人のことは放っておいていいんですか？ええ、用事があるそうですから。
Everyone had their share of really close shades, but it seemed we'd still manage to keep it all under wraps. As for what I was tasked with myself, I will, thank you very much. My phone in one hand, I was bound profusely as I spoke to the person at the end of the line. Of course, I was doing so in extremely formal business posturing. Crow just casually making fun of Japanese culture there a little bit. The atmosphere is crucial at a time like this. I ended the call and put my phone down. My hands were covered in sweat, likely because of how nervous I was. I was phoning DD's family long distance.
そういえば、先日はご主人の両親と話をしていたな。しかし、海の向こうにまで声を届かせられるとは便利な世の中だな。
It's true. It's true. Yeah, pretty much. If I needed to meet her folks in person, a flight wouldn't take more than a day to get there.
精神的な距離と物理的な距離は違うがな。
I mean, if this plan fails, I wouldn't have the heart to meet them.
そうだが、失敗するつもりはないのだろう？
Damn right I don't. Why else would I go out of my way to get permission like
だろう
this?
な。しかし、ご主人はへこへこ頭を下げすぎだったな。
Oh, piss off. You have no idea how nervous I was. Especially considering who I was talking with and how indebted I am to them.
世話をしていたのはご主人たちではないのか？
You see, about the whole maid thing, DD's folks evidently hadn't heard a word about it, though it was so obvious if you thought about it more deeply. She'd only become a maid right when she became our unexpected guest, and had evidently glossed over her interest in doing so with them. Well, at least they knew why she wanted to meet me. After all, it was why I managed to get their permission so easily. Plus, you know, I'm the only one who will be taking her in and all.
そういう緊張か。
Well, DD's folks are just way too nice, so they calmed me down a
電
bit.
話の向こうがやけに騒がしかったな。
Yeah, plus I was so shocked that they could understand
必死に
Japanese.
外来語の勉強をしていたが無駄になったな。
It'll at least be good knowledge to have when I go there myself.
Hello, my name is Rei Sawatari.
I don't need an echo. Even though Crow was making fun of me, I didn't have the energy to fight back. I felt a deep sense of relief that was one big mountain I'd conquered. My work wasn't completely finished yet, but I was exhausted all the same. Suddenly Crow broke the silence. She then suddenly floated up and disappearing into the ceiling. What's up? The answer came from behind the screen door. Looks like she flew the coop when she realized DD was coming. DD, you need
実
something?
はご主人様にお話がありまして。
Okay, what is it? Yeah, sure, but why aren't you coming in yourself? Wondered if, as I went out to greet her.
ご主人様に大切な話がありまして。
Must be serious if you're in these clothes. So we sat in the Seiza position with her packed luggage next to her. If she was coming to see me without her maid outfit on, this only could have meant one thing. Well, why don't you come in for
この
now?
ままで平気ですよ。すぐに終わりますから。
So it looks like she's trying to leave. You can't leave. We just made
実は
plans.
ですね、ご主人様にお暇をいただきたいと思いまして。
Denied. Take your leave, huh? I presume you don't mean taking a day off work either.
夏休みの前に帰国するつもりです。なので、ご主人様のメイドは続けられません。
Nope, not allowed. I see. So she's already decided when she'll be leaving. Sat on the floor myself to look DD right in the eyes. To collect my emotions, I took a deep breath. Now that I think about it, you've only been working here for like a month, haven't you?
そうですね。
It's only been a month in the game?
短い時間でした。
There's no way it's been a month.
ですけど、いい思い出になりました。本当にありがとうございました。
Likewise, you've really helped. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
どうしてそこで止めましたか？
I was just thinking about all the rough
プ
times
ロ
we've
の
had.
メイドさんにはまだまだでしたか。
Well, you're still a student. It's only natural. Besides, it was really a lot of fun. That said, it was quite a surprise to me to suddenly have a blonde-haired maid crop up like that at
私
first.
もドキドキしてました。言い名付けってどんな人だろうって。ですけど、それもご主人様の寝顔を見たら、すっかり気にならなくなってました。ご主人様の寝顔を眺めたまま、しばらくぼーっとしちゃったくらいです。
Didn't even realize. If I hadn't rewound time the way I did on that day, I would have been able to face her directly. Did I let that opportunity slip through my
ご
fingers?
主人様のことは昔の写真でしか知りませんでしたからね。そのせいで、ついじっくり見ちゃいました。
I didn't know a thing about you until the morning we first met. So I thought I was still dreaming, and I ended up hugging you like that.
あれは私もびっくりでした。許嫁のことも知っていると思っていましたので。
Sorry about that. I guess that meant we were even. That morning had been a huge shock for both of us, and Mitra ended up being a mediator of all sorts for us as well. But you know, if I had known about you then, things would have been so different. I can only look back and think how it's such a shame.
ご主人様も私のことを知っていたら、もっと仲良くなれてましたか？
Of course, I would have phoned you or texted you before you came. I could have gone to the UK to see you
残
too.
念無念です。
But that was all just a series of events that could never be. You can't change the past, so hypothetical yearnings like that are pointless. What was truly important was to turn our gaze to the future of DD from this moment on.
なので、その、
I definitely wanted to keep conversing with her like this, but we couldn't. Since it was hard for her to say it herself, I figured I had to ask to spur her on. When do you plan on going
し
back?
あさってですね。
Isn't that a little too
あんまり
soon?
長引かせても良くないと思いましたので、ほら、明日が終業式じゃないですか。なのでそこで挨拶をしようと思います。ですので、今日はメイドからご主人様への挨拶ですね。
She would no longer be a maid. That would be the aspect of our relationship put to
今まで
rest.
お世話になりました。
Likewise, thank you, D.D. And then somewhere beyond the sea, she'd go sailing, leaving only blissful memories of the way we were.
そ
All
れ
right,
じゃあレイ君、私は部屋に戻りますね。
you gotta figure it out, man. Just one question before you do. After the ceremony tomorrow, do you have any free
あ
time?
りませんけど。
D.D. answered with hesitation, and then seemingly having realized something, she clasped her hands
おお、
together.
もしかしてお別れのパーリーを計画してたりしましたか？
Well, yeah, I thought about that as
それ
well.
も
I mean, I wanted to get my classmates involved as well, not just my family.
お気遣いありがとうございます。ですけど、大々的にしなくてもいいですよ。
Firstly, I want to go all out, so don't worry
でした
about
ら
it.
お言葉に甘えておきますね。
Dee Dee's voice sounded happy, but also seemed to have a bit of wistfulness in this. I'd broken out in a bit of a cold sweat when I'd asked her my question, as I'd barely nearly let the cat out of the bag. Yeah, 3 days is pretty sudden, but we still have more than enough time to finish the preparations. First things first, I need to get in touch with everyone for a little congregation. Yeah, we're gonna have to change our schedule a little bit here. Speed this up. And evening came and morning came. The morning began just as any other. We were on our way to school. Since it was only the closing ceremony today, we didn't need to take as many things along. So we left a little earlier than usual with no need to rush. Gosh, they keep playing sad music. It's very depressing. Today was the final day the three of us would walk the path to school together. However, there was no air of sadness anywhere to be found. D.D wanted it to be that way, but that wasn't the reason why. Mitra and I were both struggling not to smile, and Crow, who had nothing to do with all the work we'd put in, floated around in midair with a gigantic smirk. D.D ended up being kind of confused by that, so I ended up with that additional I need a monkey on my back. Wasn't every day Crow was actually accompanying us on the ride to school after all. Yeah, I think she wants to see how things go.
それではお嬢様、頑張ってくださいね。ええ。DD さんも楽しみにしていてくださいね。What?
The party after we're done, of course. Lots of good food to be had
おお、そ
there.
れは楽しみです。美味しい料理を食べ納めしないといけませんね。
Yeah, of course that's what you're looking forward to.
帰った後で大層苦労しそうです。
You could always try making it
それも
yourself.
そうですけど、作ってもらうご飯の方が美味しいです。
It's true. It's very true. Yeah, I can empathize with that. We continued casually conversing like that as we entered the classroom, greeting all of our classmates. Following that, D.D explained her circumstances to everyone, and from the conclusion of the closing ceremony, things played out as they would. I like how they're not rushing this, but they're not like going into it too slowly either. Like I feel like it's at a good pace.
なんだか嫌な予感がします。
D.D mumbled, her body trembling with slight nervousness as we walked the path home together. She seemed out of it at that moment, but she was still pretty sharp. Guess I'll have to buy myself some time. Sister Sixth Sense awakening or
という
something.
より、前々から怪しいと思ってました。
What could you possibly be suspicious of?
最近の皆さんはなぜだかそわそわしてましたし、
Were you expecting everyone to be sad about you leaving?
でもしてました。
Sorry about that. We've all been so busy lately, we didn't really have time to say our
あ
farewells.
それなら仕方がありませんね。
Yeah, true enough. But we have something different in mind for you
レイ
instead.
君が怪しいスマイルを浮かべています。
Come on, at least say it's a nice smile. I suppose you could say that as a kind of grin reserved for someone watching their prey fall right into their trap. Anyways, D.D.
なんでしょう。
D.D tried to take a step back, but I took her by the hand and turned it the opposite way. There's something I forgot in the classroom, so let's go
忘れ
back.
物は何でしょうか。
That's a secret.
とっても気になってきました。なんだか生贄に捧げられる子羊の気分です。
Oh, chill out. No one's gonna get hurt here. At least that's what we're gonna say now. D.D got fussy with me as I dragged her back to the school.
来た来た。誠さんもグルですか？
You what grassed on
レイ
me?
君がどんな説明をしたかは知らないけど、おおむねその通りかな。まさか薄い本のような展開に遭うとは。薄い本って何が？
You know, Makoto, don't think about it too hard. When you're just nervous, don't freak out on me
錯
here.
乱って、レイ君もひどいな。それに、緊張してるのはレイ君もでしょ？自信持って言うことじゃないよ。
Well, I'm doing my damnedest to keep it together here, okay?
おっと、私が主役を取っちゃダメだよね。それじゃレイ君、頑張ってね。
Yeah, I got this.
何のことやら状態です。
Sorry, you'll find out soon enough. In any case, I had no intent of revealing all to her on the spot. I took her hand once again and gazed at her face to face. So to hold back my ever-rising nervousness, I took a deep breath again. D.D.
なんでしょう。
I hope you'll enjoy this. Oh boy. Oh boy, what did they get planned here? Without waiting for a reply, I put my hand on the door to
そ
the
れでは皆さん、
classroom.
新郎新婦の入場です。
Oh, we're actually doing this. Okay. The moment we stepped into the classroom, we were greeted by a wave of cheers and applause. The unfamiliar music and the feeling of being in the spot like this were deeply moving, and DD being right by my side made it even more so. Alright, I want to look at this real quick. Why does it look like her hand is making a half of a heart? Do you guys see that too? Like, am I the only one? They're holding hands. That's cute.
What?
Like I said, just chill
こ
out.
こで落ち着くとか無理ゲーすぎますよ。
That's a bleed and mugs game. What does that
新
even
郎
mean?
と新婦とかウェディングですよね。
We most certainly are. Bewildered by this turn of events, DD slowly tried to back away, so taking DD along, I moved to the center of the classroom with her.
ちょっとウェイトです。どうして私とレイ君のウェディングをするのですか？
You guys were betrothed. You were engaged. Said you loved me too, didn't you?
それはそうですけど。
You're going back home to the UK, right? So I thought it over with everyone. What kind of event should we hold? What would impress you most of all? What would make you happier than
だからっ
anything?
て思いつきでやっちゃうイベントじゃありませんよ。
If I hadn't, you wouldn't have even considered the idea, would you? Given your condition and all, though, I really think I have Makoto and the others to thank for coming up with this.
レイ君、もしかしてそれもみんなと相談しちゃったんですか？
Of course, I felt it wasn't something I had to hide.
私もそう思うな。それに DD さんだって私の秘密を知ってるでしょ。だからこれで今までよりも仲良くなれると思わない？ですけど。
ま、さんずいも俺たちもそれで DD への対応を変えたりしねえよ。つっても余計なおせっかいはするようになるかもしれないけどな。
石田くんもクラスのみんなにも知られてるんですね。当然、私も知っていますよ。
Makoto, Shuji, and Michiru, they all looked at Didi with nothing but kindness in their eyes, as it was definitely not out of pity for her physical handicap.
私にまで隠すなんて水臭いですね。家族同然に暮らしているんですから、気軽に頼ってくれていいんですよ。みちるや先輩に頼れないことなら私だって手助けしますよ。私も DD 先輩にはお世話になってますから、お返しをさせてください。
Well, this is really sweet. I'm glad everyone's here, and she's like really like stunned by this. Being bombarded with well wishes from everyone left Didi speechless. She was desperately trying to keep her emotions in check, a smile that was about to form, tears that were about to
と
fall.
いうより DD さん、
Michiru gently stepped to quell her
最初から
anxieties.
そう言ってくれていれば私だって対応を考えましたよ。兄様との仲も深まったのにもったいないことをしましたね。私だってもっと DD さんと仲良くなれたでしょうし。仕方ないじゃないですか。
Well, that was nice of Michiru to say.
私だっていろいろ考えたんですよ。
Yeah, I certainly imagine it was. I'm sure it would have weighed more on your mind than I thought. It must have been excruciating to bear. And I imagine it wouldn't have been any small feat to come to terms with that and accept your own future. However, while I certainly sympathize with how you feel, I can't accept your decision. Didi trembled with confusion as I gazed into her eyes. If you ask me, you shouldn't hold back. I think you should be more honest about what you truly desire. I want you to put yourself first, not just other people.
知ってますよ。イギリスから無理を言ってレイ君に会いに来たんですから。
I'm glad you did. With that courage and initiative of yours, I never would have been able to meet you. But why would you settle for just meeting me and leaving it at that? If your goal all along was to meet your prospective fiance, you should see this all the way through to the
レイ
end.
君は難しいことを平気で言います。
What do you mind it?
私が幸せになったらそれ以上にレイ君を不幸にしちゃうんですよ。ほんの少しの幸せと引き換えに幸せになった分だけ悲しくなっちゃいます。
I can live with that. After all, once you fall in love with someone, little things like that lose all their meaning. Even if your happiness becomes my sadness, that won't matter to me. Hell, I can even bear the painful memories if they're memories made with you. I want to see you not just when you're happy, but when you cry and when you're angry too. I want to see more and more of you. It had only been a month since D.D came to my house, and I could have practically counted the hours we spent together with just as two of my fingers. There were so many things about her I still didn't know.
泣いた顔が見たいとか、レイ君はひどい人です。
Rei, you meanie. Just that kind of guy. I want to tease the girl I love. Besides, no matter what expression you have, you always be
な
cute.
ら笑顔を見てほしいです。
Of course, I know I said no matter what expression, but you're definitely cutest of all when you're happy.
ひどい人で、ずるい人です。みんなの前で私を恥ずかしがらせようとしています。
Come on, you're not alone here. I'm trying to keep together as much as I can too. But I'm much more nervous than I am embarrassed. I mean, this is a wedding with the girl. I love it all.
そんなこと言われても。
I ended up having to hold back the smile I was about to
私
make.
は好きな人を悲しませたくありません。
She was that worried for me. It made me so happy I could barely hear it. Hardly bear it. Is that what it said? This is befitting of the D.D I fell in love
い
with.
つかきっと後悔させてしまいます。
Maybe I will be, but much more importantly, if it weren't with you, I would regret that so much
近
more.
いうちに死に別れるんですよ。レイ君を悲しませて大泣きさせちゃいますよ。
I don't mind until that I want to be happy with you, even so that I'll bawl my damn eyes out when the time comes. I extended my hand invitingly to D.D. For a while, she just stared at it, and then she muttered, her voice almost inaudibly
レイ
quiet.
君は後に残されて辛くありませんか？
Maybe it will be, but right now, that's all the more reason to spend as much time as we possibly can happy together. D.D gave no response to that. Rather, her soft hand fell on top of mine. I was seriously on the verge of cheering up, but I managed to hold myself together as we walked towards everyone. D.D and me, together. This is just a mock ceremony, so it's not like we're formally entering you into the family registry. I spoke my thoughts in a voice that was about to crack. This isn't a place where I can swear to you in the presence of God. I then took out from my pocket a symbol of my affection, but the feelings I have for you are very real.
指輪？
This is real too. It's 3 months worth of, well, not income, but my allowance. Sorry about that.
私にですか？
There's no other way that I'd give you something like this. Nature helped me figure out the size of both my parents, and yours gave their blessings. So there's nothing to worry about.
それじゃあ本当に私がもらっても私でいいんですか？
It is. This is how I truly feel. I slipped the ring onto her finger where it truly belonged. Take a moment to look at that real quick, guys. That's a nice ring, too. You did a good job. It's a very sweet moment. This has actually been one of the best moments in the entire game so far. I'm actually suddenly enjoying this route a lot more than I ever thought I would. There's a physical manifestation of my feelings for her, and then she accepted it. Miss Dorothy Davenport. And it was time to verbalize those feelings. I will love and honor you with all the days of my life. I promise to be true to you in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health. I swear to you that when the end does come, you can look back and say that you were happy. So, will you marry me? A small drop of warmth fell upon our entwined hands, and then drop by drop her emotions burst forth. So do I. I want us to both be happy. So I don't want you to hold back on me, Dee. If there's anything you want to do or say, please tell me.
レイ君と一緒にしたいことたくさんあるんです。好きだってずっと言いたかったんです。
Teardrop after teardrop of emotion flowed from her eyes, and the walls she put up to seal away all of her feelings had finally come crumbling down. Her truest desire was laid bare before me.
私も嬉しいです。死にたくないよ。もっと生きていたいのに。やりたいことたくさんあるのに。
I'll do them all with you. Whatever you want, just say the word and I'll make it happen.
それじゃあ手としていろんなところ行きたいです。美味しいもの食べて遊んで、ゲームもアニメも漫画もたくさん読みたいです。
That's how you know this is a visual novel. We're talking about anime and manga and food being the most important things.
他にもたくさんありすぎて選べません。
It's alright, we'll just go through them all one at a time. And if you're with me, I'll cherish every moment of anything we do.
はい、私もです。レイ君と出会ってから楽しいことがいっぱいです。無理だと思ってたことたくさん叶いましたから。
Even while she cried, her smile shone through brightly. It must be difficult having any sort of ordinary dream granted for me or for Dee. Hence why we must dream greater than that. The future that lay ahead was not one composed of just painful things. We would not let the sad things overwhelm us. Even if I can't see what lies ahead on my own, if I were together with Dee, then surely we would find happiness. Our every wish would be granted. To have the person I love become my significant other, my fiance, I'm so very happy.
私も幸せです。日本に来てみんなに会えて、レイ君と会えて幸せです。生まれてきてよかったって心から思いました。
Likewise, I feel so blessed to have met you, Dee, for falling in love with me and coming here to meet me. Thank you.
私も嬉しいです。
Then the distance between us became reduced to nothing, as if our happiness and our joy had finally brought us together in unity.
私が幸せになった分だけ幸せを分けてあげますね。
Okay, well, maybe share the whole thing when people aren't around.
愛してます、旦那様。
We didn't even get to see them kiss. Wow, okay. Wow, and then that's the end. Okay. I'm not unhappy with that. I actually am very happy they ended it there. I hate when they prolong it and they just stretch it out. It's like, you don't need to do that. Just have the happy moment. Leave it at that. Call it a good thing. Okay, I'm gonna skip that. I tend to skip these because I feel like they're getting me in trouble with YouTube. Wedding ceremony ended without incident and everyone gave their blessings. Having gone through such a moving experience, our bonds deepened even further. Or so I'd like to say, but it came plain to see that not much had changed. Dee Dee didn't return home, instead she stayed here continuing to work as a maid. Our engagement had already been established prior to this, so that hadn't changed either. If there was anything that did change, it would definitely be how we felt for each other. There we go. There we go. Oh, are we farming together?
お疲れ様でした。
I finished planting the apple seedlings and then brushed the dirt off my hands. I guess that was we were graduating from school that day, right? Or was that just the end of a year? I don't know. Like, we might just be adults now. Even now they were sent here all the way from Dee Dee's own home, I was a lot more nervous than I ought to have been. They were, after all, gifts sent in commemoration of our
二
marriage.
人の愛の結晶ですね。
Well, these are seedlings of that kind of trees you took care of, so that's certainly not a
これ
reach.
からはご主人様もお世話をしてくれるんですよね。
Of course, but about you calling me that, given how things are now, can't we just drop the whole master-maid
いえい
relationship?
え、お屋敷の中ではメイドですから。もしかしてご ご主人様と呼ばれるのはノーサンキューですか？
Oh, frick, what does Misaki say? It's verbatim. Can't do that. You could try to call me by my name once in a while at least. Of course, I wasn't objecting to it. It was just hard to let go of that one and only time she called me sweetheart. Ooh, how romantic, Ray. Of course, once we've been graduated and the name's been formally added to the family register, it'll be something to look forward
Don't
to.
worry ですよ、ご主人様。
Yeah, she's gonna be... I don't know, cause isn't Davenport her last name? So is she gonna be, DS? She's gonna be Nintendo DS.
グランパたちが日本に来た時は、ちゃんと名前で紹介しますから。
Or maybe she'll be DDS. Maybe she'll keep the Davenport in there. I guess I'll have to try and keep it together when you do. The last thing I want to do is look like an idiot in front of my parents.
その方が私は嬉しいですけどね。
Then when we're alone with each other, I'll spoil you all you want, no holding back.
ありがとうございます、ご主人様。でしたら、私を大事にするくらい、この苗も大切にしてくださいね。
Well, of course, that goes without
絶対
saying.
ですよ。この子は私がこの家にいた証ですから。私の代わりと思ってくださいね。
Honestly, just when I was wondering what you were going to segue into there. These trees may be a part of memories with you, but all the same, they can't replace you. Besides, even after I die, they're still going to be here. Try not to forget about that.
いい考えだと思ったんですけどね。
Still, I guess leaving descendants behind is something to think about.
子孫。子供ですか。
Well, you said something about fruits of our love a minute ago, so it doesn't make you think about children. Once you see things mature into trees, you'll still need people to take care of them.
それもそうですね。それでは、頑張ってバンバン産んじゃいましょう。
Oh boy. You already know what their after story a little bit in here is like. For sheer enthusiasm. Let's save that for after graduation.
卒業したらすぐですね。
Okay, so they're not graduated from school, unless they're talking about, like, going to college.
進学するご主人様と違って、私の進路は決まってい
Okay,
ますか
so they are talking about university. Okay. About that survey and your plans for the future, could you not put bride or something
ら。
on there?
それは振りですね。わかります。
I'm serious, but too little too late, eh? Considering I held a mock wedding right in front of everyone, it's probably not my place to worry about that.
盛大に見せつけてしまいましょう。そしたらみんなお祝いしてくれますよ。
Fair enough, that does sound like fun. Thinking about your own future isn't a bad thing at all. But if I were to look too far ahead, all the joy before my very eyes right now would go to
子
waste.
供を作り、受け継がせる。それが変わらずに続いてきた人の営みか。聞かれちゃってましたか？今更だな。お主らの言動は聞こうと思わずとも聞こえてくる。
Hey, don't look so disappointed about it.
それこそ、お主らの子供に伝えられるほどにな。その手がありましたか。
Appreciate the offer, but that sounds pretty
安
humiliating.
心しろ。ためになる話しかせんぞ。とんでもなく情けない男でも DD のように面白い女を捕まえられるとな。
She certainly is a lively one. Well, I'll give her that. Please don't, I'd be a
そ
laughing
れが
stock.
嫌なら語り継がれるほど立派な男になるんだな。私もクロさんの印象に残るような女の子になります。お主はもう十分だ。
Or so she seemed to. We still hadn't made a great deal of memories. I want to experience more and more joy together with DD. If we're gonna leave something for the future, maybe some pictures or videos would be nice
イ
too.
エーイ、タイムマシーンですね。
Time
ぜ
capsule.
ひとも埋めましょう。場所はこの苗の近くでしょうか。
Sounds good. We could get Michiru and everyone else to help
ま
out
た
too.
なら将来の自分に向けてメッセージとかどうでしょう。それで大人になった私に聞いてみます。今幸せですかって。
That's a great idea. If you're gonna aim for that, you better strive to live long and prosper.
Exactly. 病は気からです。
Okay, now I see the Star Trek reference. I haven't seen Star Trek. I don't really know them, but live long and prosper. I know that one. Okay, what is it? You got to do that. Live long and prosper. Can't believe they're doing a Star Trek reference in the ending here. Thought I told you to drop it the obscure references. Even while we carried on, I felt as though we were both becoming a little more alive. It didn't matter if both our futures were predetermined. We are the masters of our own destinies. To combat and overcome destiny is simply a question of will. Yeah, work on my medicine indeed.
長生きしてご主人様もその子供も幸せにしてみせます
Feelings mutual, of course. I'll do my best.
楽しみにしていますやれやれ相変わらず騒がしい
As Crow floated in midair, she suddenly craned her head. What's up?
いや少し思い違いをしていたというかどうかしたんですかご主人様
Don't ask me, ask
クロ
Crow.
さん
D.D. glanced around in confusion.
クロさんはお出かけされましたか
Step out. Oh, come on. And she's right.
いろいろあってまた運命が変わったな
Oh, is Crow disappearing? Is she not going to be with us anymore?
何を驚くことがあるそうなる未来を選んだのはお主ら自身であろう
What do you mean, chosen? While I remained confused at Crow's words, D.D. seemed equally confused by how I was behaving. It's as though D.D. was no longer able to see or hear Crow. What did that mean? Hey, Crow, you said the course of destiny's changed, didn't you?
言ったな
Then for who and how has... Oh, no, I'm dumb. She can't hear anymore because she's not gonna die. That's what they're implying. She's not on death's door anymore. So she can't hear Crow anymore. A grin formed on my face.
良いのか
Okay.
電波ですか
I feel so glad I saved that before I get a comment about it. Like, Justin, do you realize what that means? It's like, no, I got it. We're all good. It took me a second. I got it. That's awesome. That's great. Don't worry about it. I answered to D.D., but my words also applied to Crow. I think not knowing what the future holds in store is what makes it all the more fun. It is for that reason we can imagine what it holds in store. For happiness is such stuff as dreams are made on. D.D.,
何ですか
let's strive to be happy together.
はいもちろんです今日も明日もその先もこれからずっと私は幸せに過ごすんですからご主人様一緒に楽しいことをいっぱいしましょうね
Dang, guys. This has been the best ending so far. I'm just gonna outright say that. This has been the best ending. This is the most complete feeling. It didn't feel dragged out. It truly felt like it just was complete. I will say, like, her just kind of having some kind of condition was just kind of thrown out there, and I feel like things just kind of happened after that. But I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with the ending. I'm really happy with the route. I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I liked it because I think it wasn't too long. I feel like if it's for a character like this, just don't drag it out. Just let it happen, you know? So, anyways, guys, I'm going to end it there. Appreciate you guys, and we're going to be starting Makoto's route next. So look forward to that. It's going to be good. Next episode will be awesome. And I'll see you guys then. Have a good one.